an absolute incredible designer and knows what you want, what I want, basically what we all want as well. Cannot wait for the next couple of hours.
I hadn't actually revealed who the guest was yet, but he's just gone and done it already. He's just stolen my thunder, hasn't he? In the rehearsals,
just to edit it out.
To you were going to say a little bit hello, then you were going to come back to me. I was going to do the big reveal of the guest, but you've just... Well, as you've already heard, because he's just gone and done it, hasn't he? Him over there. We do have a fabulous guest, a lady who I absolutely love. It is the wonderful Sharon Callis. Good afternoon.
Hi, how are you? Got some introduction.
Well, there we go. I mean, I did have the big introduction lined up, all singing, all dancing, all the whistles and bells, but then our little crafty elf over there kind of stole my thunder. But it's lovely to have you back on. Is this your second Crafthouse, or have you done more before the last one that we did together?
No, this is my second Crafthouse. My second Crafthouse. I was here first off with the butterflies and blooms, so I'm back again today.
Yeah, it's great to have you on, and actually we've got the butterflies and blooms on the show as well. So if you missed that on the last Crafthouse with Sharon, we'll be coming back to that a little bit later on. But Sharon, just tell us about this new range that you're bringing to us today, because it only launched, I think, a couple of days ago, didn't it?
Yeah, they launched this week, and the response so far has been absolutely phenomenal. One staple of all crafters' stash has to be frame dies or nesting dies. They're so versatile, you can use them for any occasion. So I wanted to develop a range that you could actually use across different styles of crafting and in different sizes, and something you can mix and match as well. So I was pretty excited about this core collection of 4. But in fact, there's 5 dies in each set, so the combinations, there's no limit.
And that's the thing, isn't it? We'll have a look at the boards, because I know you've got some with you, but the point is here, these are so pretty, they're so beautiful and intricate, the actual frames, but you've got, again, so much versatility with these, and as Craig kind of alluded to at the top of the show there, so many different ways that you can use these in your craft, isn't there?
There is. Not only can you use them for toppers, but you can also use them to create your card line. You can use them to create easel cards. By combining dies and cutting one into the other, you can create actual frames for your shaker cards or for your decor. Some of them are small enough to make hangers for your Christmas tree, even. It's not too late. So you could do little shakers for your Christmas tree, combine them with some of the Crafter's Companion little layered characters even. So across different ranges, you're not just limited to just your regular card making and die cutting. They work fabulous as well with printing. Yeah,
versatility is absolutely the key with this collection. So, well, let's have a look, shall we? Let's have a look what we're talking about here. By the way, before you get your boards up, love the Christmas jumper. I'm glad you've joined the Christmas jumper gang.
My little reindeer.
Yes.
With his golden nose.
I love it. I love it.
I have to get into the festive mood.
Oh,
no Christmas parties this year, so this is as far as I'm going to get to a party.
Well, I tell you what, who else would you rather party with virtually than us two? I mean, don't say loads of other names.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's have a look at those boards then.
So really quickly then, what I'll do is I'm just going to show you the raw die, as I call it, and I'll show you what you can do with it. So this is the Venetian Lathe. Now, as I said, all of the dies kits themselves have 5 dies in it. And what you get is you will get 2 decorative element dies, but then you get 3 matte and layer dies. Mm-hmm. So use them together, or you can separate them off for smaller cards and larger cards. But on this Venetian Lathe, I love this one because it seems to be very popular. People were saying, oh, for a mirror-like effect, Disney princess and other princesses in those. Use them with your mirror card, and you can actually make little mirrors and stuff. It's very popular that way, but don't forget, you can also change the orientation, and you have a whole different look with the die set when it's that way as well. So that is the Venetian Lathe.
Beautiful.
Sorry?
I said beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I have a little bit of, if anyone's watching, I have a little bit of feedback here in Costa del Ireland because of the weather. So we'll do our best here and struggle on with it. So that was the Venetian Lathe. So the Torkin Lace, this is one of the square ones. So again, you have in this set, you've got 5 dies. Now, if you look at how delicate, I'll bring that up. I'm going to steal Sarah's zoom here for a minute. But if you can see how delicate the detail is on this, it's like a doily. And the dies themselves cut so beautifully in all the delicate detail that's in those. So we have our base layer and we have our decorative layer. Then we come up again and we have, as I call it, the base of the topper, your topper. And then this panel here, you can use that for stamping on. You can put die cut elements, or you can just put flowers and foliage on that. And I just want to show you some of the dimension you can get there. You see when you layer them up with the foam pad. So it gives a kind of a rich look to your project as well. So that was the Torkin. And this one here is the Bobbin Lace. And I think this one is one of my favorites because it's so versatile. So it is kind of an oval as well. And again, if you change the orientation, you get a totally different look because the ends are different. You see, so for your project, again, now that's, I want to say I've cut this with the textured cardstock, and I've managed to get 2 layers of textured cardstock into the one cut with that as well. So they do cut very well. And the final one in the set, and of course this is my favorite, it's the Irish Lace.
Of course.
So this is a square one. These are ones that are great actually for making your card blank, but also again for your mirrors or your vintage frames. And if you're into doing your mixed media or your vintage look, they're very kind of Victorian frames or Georgian frames. And the one on the inside there is very Art Deco as well. So that is your Venetian Lace. So do we have time to show you some samples? Just to give you an idea.
Absolutely, yeah, it'd be good to see.
Okay. So this card here, I'll do it with the overhead. It's probably easier. So this here is the domed card, and I'm just going to turn that. And that is quite simple. So if you wanted to add your flowers or other decorative elements inside, it's protected. Use your boxer border, your envelope box creator, and make a fantastic box for that. And I'm using the paper pads that are on the website at the moment. But if you see the pearlescent on that paper, it's just so rich on that one, the sheen. So that was using the Venetian Lace. So I cut in with the inner die and then the outer die and layered them up. So that's that one. Then who doesn't love an easel card? So I've turned this way. Sorry. I have to get used to this, Ben. I'm so used to showing it to front cameras.
Yeah, it's all upside down and back to front, isn't it? It's not easy. You're doing a grand job.
It's not easy at all. So this is an easel card that we've done here. But we're all familiar with easel cards, but this one has a little extra twist to it. It has an extra section you can actually write your greeting.
Brilliant.
So it's a triple easel card, but that is the Torkin Lace. And you can see there, the inside has been cut out using the outer die from this one. So that's where I said where you can create your frames on that one. This one here is using the Irish Lace, and this shows how you can use the die to create your card base. And this one was made by Christina. So this is the Irish Lace, quite simple. You just use the die over the edge of the card to create your card base. Then you cut and mat your layers up, couple of flowers and stamp. And it's so simple. The decoration that's in the die itself does all the work for you in making your card look elegant. This is another nesting die. So you can use them on the inside and the outside there to create an inside topper and an outside topper. So on the Bobbin Lace, the smaller die. So you don't have to do a big card. You can use the center dies of them all to create small, delicate toppers. And just think of all the stamps that you have in your stash and all the die cut sentiments.
Yeah.
And it's a great way, the size of the center panel for all your large sentiments, because I find sometimes when you get a center panel from a nesting die, it's very small and you're limited to the stamps that you can add into it. I love this.
Oh, wow, this is brilliant. I love this one already. That's amazing.
That's gorgeous. That one, I want to tell you, I want to give props, as they say. This is Christina again. So this is a shaker card. And you may have seen Sarah make one of these, and it's very simple. You just cut with the Venetian lace outside die, you cut 3, and then with the decorative layer, you cut 2. And then you can just create your fold on that. And that's quite quick, quite simple. And then you create your shaper on the inside with that one. And then, who says you have to send cards for Christmas? Look at that. Now
That's
that is
great.
just so quick and so easy and so simple. It's literally just, you've cut 2 layers, you add your numbers, and you have a lovely calendar gift to send to people. I know we all want to see 2021 hurry itself.
I was going to say, Sharon, roll on 2021, eh? Certainly, roll on 2021.
Oh, yeah, I'm stuck in a loop with 2020. I just want to get out of it at the moment. And then finally, how gorgeous is that and how simple? You can decorate all your boxes with these panels quite quickly and quite effectively. So get your cinchor pearl, get your boxer board, and then in no time at all, you can create a box. And why not create a card that matches that and put it inside it with a gift certificate?
Just brilliant, and already some amazing ideas and samples that you're seeing. Loads of you coming with lots of lovely comments so far. Diane on Facebook saying, love your die, Sharon, with 5 heart emojis. Stephanie saying, hello, Sharon, great to see you again. Wishing you a lovely Christmas season. Beautiful, pretty frame, says Yolanda. And Stephanie saying, really love Sharon's designs, unique and so gorgeous. Listen, Sharon is going to be with us live for the next couple of hours. So if there's anything that you want to ask, we'll be going back and forth and chatting with Sharon. If you've not met her before, we'll ask her questions about her craft, how she got started, how she comes up with all the designs, all those kind of things. But if there's anything that you want to ask Sharon, if there's anything you want to know particularly about this collection or the Butterflies and Blooms collection that we've got coming up later on, get those questions in. You can get social with us as you normally do on Facebook and on YouTube. And of course, we would love to see your projects as per usual. There's all the details about how you can get social. Send in your pictures as well at studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. Maybe you got your hands on the last collection from Sharon on the previous Crafthouse and you've been making lots of cards and projects. We would love to see them. So do send in those pictures. And as always, do send in pictures if you're crafting in your Christmas jumper this afternoon. Join the Christmas Jumper Club. There's 3 of us now, you see. This club's getting bigger and bigger. Price-wise, though, you've just seen the details zoom off the screen there, but it is £41 for this collection. They'll zoom back on in just a second, like this. There you go. Brilliant deal. Brand new to us here at Crafters TV. £41 for the full collection or $60. You're saving over £10, almost $12. And as you've seen already, the versatility that you've got with a collection like this is amazing. And Craig, they're absolutely stunning, aren't they?
They absolutely are. You know, when it comes to a crafter, whether you're more advanced, whether you're a beginner, where you want to start is your core, which is your nesting dies. That's exactly what these give you. But then they kind of, as a beginner, they just propel you that little bit further by having these ones because you've got that nesting factor. However, you've got that delicate edges to them. But then because you've got that detail that you can pop into the middle. So all of them, you can use them separate. So the detail could be used on its own. So you're cutting into the card. But then you've got the dies that outside, the nesting dies, many different ways you can call them, to cut them out. So some of these samples that Sharon was actually just showing you a minute ago, we're going to do some of those elements within this one here. For instance, to start with, what we're going to do is I've just taken some of our craft card.
Yeah.
This is just our A4 and I've just folded it in half. And on this one, what we're going to do is we're going to take the Bobbin Lace frame. And then within this one, so you can see you've got many of your nesting dies. So we've got the 3 of them, the 1, they've got the 2, and then they've got the 3, and then you've got all your detail as well. So for this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this just onto my craft card, and then if we look at just this side here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move that over just, you know, it could be what, about 1/4 of an inch, just so it overlaps, that you can see there. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape it down just to secure it. Now, of course, not only just with the power of the Gemini, but just within the detail of Sharon's dies, this is going to cut no problem through the 2 layers. So this one, I'm just using my Gemini Junior. Because I'm doing 2 layers, this is why I've just gone over to my Junior. But if you're doing single layers or that, you can still use your MIDI like we were using in the last show. They will work no problem at all. But again, just because I'm doing a few different layers at once, that's why we've just gone over to the Junior. So let's take these ones out, and then if I move this one out the way just here, oh, I did put my metal shim in, that wasn't planned. You know, you don't need your metal shim, you know, obviously, it helps, gives it that extra little bit of oomph when it comes to cutting, but please don't think you need your metal shim to cut 2 layers, because you don't. So then that gives you your fancy shape card blank. So even just stamped sentiment, a topper in the middle, there you go, that's good to go. That's just one die. So then what we're going to do is, let's then go over to our next one. So if I come down one, so we can see we're now going to go into our next nesting layer. So if I can just pick that one straight up. So we've got this one here.
It's all about the nesting dies today, isn't it?
It's all about the nesting dies, absolutely. Could you imagine if you go back onto masterclass earlier on and then you get some of the layerable sentiments that we were using? These would look awesome in the middle of these ones as well. Whether it's just the nesting dies or whether you choose to use all this detail as well, they would look phenomenal. That home decor one we did, bit of nesting dies here, look awesome. So I'm going to bring this one back in, and I'm just going to pop it within the middle. You can be more precise if you want to measure it, but I'm just going to go straight in, and I'm going to just pop it into the middle. And I'm just going to tape that one into place again. Then what I'm going to do is if I bring back in my plates, just like all of our dies with Sharon's dies, when you're cutting, it is just your base cutting plate, plastic, magnetic, and then your top plate. Running that one through again. So when it comes to throughout the other demos on the show, I've got a lot of them where there's bits that are already prepped at least to start with, to really showcase off all the different ways, the levels, the styles with Sharon's designs. This is why this one I'm kind of doing each section so that you can see. So then this gives us not only our shape card, but we've now got a lovely little aperture, maybe a bit of acetate within the middle or vellum in the middle, but that gives you your frame as well. So you've got that sort. So then let's take a couple of pieces, or a piece of pattern paper, as well as another piece of craft card. So we're going to take this one to start with. So we're taking a piece of our pattern paper, and then here, what we're going to do, not only are we going to use that large outside die, I think if I turn it that way, there's one way I've done it where I've just got enough and no more. So I think it's, there we go, I've just got it and no more. So a bit like your card blank, what that would do is that would give us our nested die, our actual bottom layer. But what I'm going to do as well, we're going to then bring in this detail die that's just going to sit nicely in the middle, or just in the middle of your nested die. If you are concerned or worried, you can do this bit separate. However, I know with our low tack tape, if I tape this down really well and securely, then your dies aren't going to jump on top of each other. But if you are just that little bit concerned, you don't want to do that, then don't worry, you can do all this separate if you want. So we've got these bits here that are ready to cut, and then what I am just going to do, because I also want to create an aperture within the middle, I'm then going to bring this one back in. So we can then create our aperture within the middle. So let's tape that one nicely and secure it.
That is secure.
It's really secure.
Cool.
Always like to just make sure, if I am doing more than one die, especially when they're nested dies or frame dies, when they're quite close, you just make sure you've got enough low tack tape on just to secure it, stops it from potentially jumping. This is then going to cut out. Still, even though it's nicely detailed, I've not put in my metal shim at all for this one. So then we've got, because I've put these two in together, we get this really nice frame. So we've got a delicate detailed frame as well. So let's take all of these apart. So what we've got here is if we take this one out. Now, if you've got your die release tool, that'll take all these little bitties out.
Yeah.
But we're just going to take my tool. I've got mine here. And we've also got our mat as well. Now these are bits, we're always looking at bits, you know, that would be good for shaker cards.
Absolutely.
These bits, these sorts of things, keep a hold of them.
I think I learned that off you actually. You know, if you've got all these bits and pieces from your more intricate dies, keep them, because you know there's never any waste. These would be great for your shakers, like you say.
That's it. And unless your shaker element, unless it's something like sequins or something sizable, a lot of people don't actually look or necessarily know what's in the middle. So if it is little bits of your cardstock that's come out of previous cards, no one's going to know. And if they do notice it, they're just going to think that was part of, you know, the design of the card.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then here's on this one here. So this now gives us a really detailed frame. Let's bring in this bit of card so you can see. So we've got all of that detail around there. We've got our aperture within the middle. We've still got a little frame as well that we can then use. So then if we then just move that one to the side. So this next bit I will just skip over. But what I've done on this bit of craft card, I have used that same die that I used a moment ago, which is the large outside die, which is this outside one. So if we take that one off, so I've used this larger one here, and then what I've also done is I've used this inner aperture die, this one here, pop them together. So basically what we're going to get is we're going to get the same shape, but without all of this detail within the middle. So that gives you a frame, a layer, a back layer, many different ways in which you can call it. That then gives us this look here. And then that one then just sits nicely over the top, and it just nestles nicely. It's just straighten that one up. We're going to use our dotty tape runner in a moment, but then we can see how that starts to build upon each other. So let me just move that one just out the way.
Such a great demo to show you, isn't it? Because again, if you look at these and thinking, oh, one trick pony, no, there's so many different ways to use them, isn't there?
And if you are a beginner, you know, this beginning one, I know it is a bit detailed. Don't be put off of that. I just, again, as Ben was just saying, you know, really want to try and showcase many different layers first. We've got other demos throughout the show where we just strip it back a wee bit, but it's just to show that you know, wow, it does that, but it can do this, it can do 2, it can do 3, it can do 4, many different ways. What I'm going to do is this pattern bit that came out within the middle, we're going to keep that because that can go on as our top layer in a moment. So let's just take our dotty tape runner. So let's start to actually assemble layers as we go. So if you've got your sprays or if you've got your tacky glue, your double-sided adhesive sheets, you could be using them. When it comes to all of these little filigree bits, if you're using your double-sided sheets, adhesive sheets, I would include my metal shim, just because you've got obviously that extra layer of adhesive, plus you've got that plastic backing. So we're just going to layer this one up. So I'm just matching it with the aperture within the middle. So we could pop that one all the way around just here.
Brilliant.
So we get that nice frame there. Then what we're going to do on this one is that then also sits nicely on that top layer that we done, creating the frame. But what it also does is it hides that flat edge side there.
Yeah.
So then that creates your card blank, but you've got all of that really nice detail all the way around. So again, let's just attach these ones as we go. I'm just going to make sure that I get plenty of adhesive on the top. And then we can pop this one in, sitting nicely. So whether you use them on their own, whether you use them in conjunction with the other layers, maybe your butterfly and bloom, we've got some of them on the show as well. You can start to coordinate all of these. So that's kind of like my main outside layer done. So let's just do a couple of layers on the inside so we can decorate. So a little bit of Centura Pearl. And then we've still, out of all these dies I've used, we've still got these 2 dies as well. We've got our, I say smaller, it's the smallest one out of all of the detail dies. So let's take this one off. And we're also going to take this one here. Let's just bear with me. Here we go. Falling to the side. I thought I'd gone under the table for a moment. And just to say as well, although these nested dies here, these, you know, shaped nested dies, because you can do the layers, these dies have also got an outside cutting edge as well. Yeah. So if I then go and pop that on, once I die cut that, what will happen as well, that will cut out of my card. So it's so many different ways you can use them. I'm going to pop that one into the middle. Another one of those cases where if you want to do them separate, you can. We will just run it through. We can pop this one on again. We're going to layer it up, running that one through, and then what we can start to do is do one more cut with another layer, and then just assemble this one.
Already lots of you tuned in watching. Loretta from Arizona, Tammy in Massachusetts, Alison from Brooklyn, Tansy Pansy from Tring, UK. I didn't know you were from Tring. That's my neck of the woods, that is. Well, there you go. Pretty much neighbours. Benita from Sweden, Monica from Detroit, Diana from Tennessee as well. Loads of you enjoying the show already. Lots of lovely comments about this brand new collection. If you have just joined us, welcome. Sharon Callis, who designed these amazing collections, is actually with us, and we're going to be chatting to her in a little bit. So if you've got any questions for her that you want to throw away, then feel free to do so. Seems that we've got lots of Sharon Callis fans who are watching today. Mary saying, love Sharon Callis designs. Tall Chicky 8 on YouTube. Dies are so versatile. These dies are so versatile. And love Beth's idea. We're just chatting about the use of the waste from the dies, talking about putting them in shaker cards. Beth says, I put those bits in glass or plastic Christmas balls. Love that idea.
That's a great idea, isn't it?
Hang on your tree.
Such a good idea.
Yeah, brilliant.
Never thought of that.
Yeah. And ideas coming in as well for these frames. Shannon H saying, these would be really cute to put a picture in as well. Yeah, absolutely, they would.
They'd be really good.
Putting some Christmas pics.
Love that one about popping them into the baubles and
I
that.
know.
Really nice.
How
Never
cool is
thought of that one.
Nah.
So taking that same ivory Centura pearl that I created this smaller aperture part in, we've just used that outside edge die, so that gives us that panel. Then on another bit of craft card, what I've done, used that outside die, and then I've also just put, well actually, what I have done, I've not used that outside die, I've just used that detail die because also that gives you the outside cutting edge, which cuts out of your card. So we can then just start to assemble this one just to finish it off. I've got one that I've done just to the side of me, and what I've done is just gone round with a little bit of ink, and I just went round with pink tulip, so I'll show you that in a moment.
A lot of people enjoying seeing craft card on the show. We don't see it a lot, I don't think.
We don't, no, we don't. It's one of those that really does look really phenomenal when you use it.
Yeah.
It's just not used that often.
No.
And, you know, I'm the same. I don't use it that often. And when I do use it, I seem to go through spells.
Yeah.
And like I say, I've used it for this one, and I really like the way that it looks. So quite a few of demos that I've been doing for other shows was incorporating craft card as well.
I think it fits perfectly with this. You're more sort of vintagey, sort of lacy dies, and also I always associate craft cards with like Christmas makes as well.
Yeah, yeah.
It kind of really works beautifully with that. But as you can see, with a collection like this, the craft card I think works absolutely beautifully. Fred 171 on YouTube saying liking the craft card with the pink. Yeah, I was thinking that as Craig's just putting it together. It works absolutely beautifully. And again, when you've got this collection, this vintage lace frames collection, you have just got so much versatility, and it's great that we're just being taken through all of the different things that you can do with Craig. And we'll see more, as I say, as we head through the show as well. And not just this collection, don't forget, we've got the Butterfly and Blooms collection, which we'll bring to you in more detail a little bit later on. Lots of lovely comments still coming in. Maxine on Facebook says, I'm from Leighton Buzzard, Ben. Well, all my neighbours are getting in touch now. I'm just the other side of Aylesbury. There you go, in a little village called Bishopstone, so that's where I am. Any more of my neighbours want to get in touch, let me know. Thank you to Shadiah as well, who's still sending in Christmas jokes. I'll read those out later. That was yesterday, but do you know what? I don't mind. Keep them coming in, because I'll definitely use them at points, Shadiah. So thank you. You're my new script writer, I think. That's what it is. Oh dear.
That was good. I like that. So you can see this pattern paper that I just mat and layered onto. This is what came out of the centre part here. So no waste, although that would never be waste, use it elsewhere. Yeah. That's exactly what we're doing. And then just to line it up into the centre, in case you wondered what I'd done a moment ago when I turned it over, I just needed to cut down the side there just for it to trim so it fits nicely into the hinge. So I just backed it and then just cut with my scissors. So just in case you wondered what I'd done a moment ago. So I'm just layering that one up and I'm popping it over the top so we can get it lined just perfectly. So that's now our center part here. And then what I'm also just going to do to finish these ones off, using the butterfly, so I've already done this bit here, the butterfly love, I've just taken the butterfly in the die and just stamped it. And I actually stamped it on the patterned reverse side of this one, which was stripes. So works well if you're using your double-sided papers. So I'm just going to add just a little bit of, it's kind of like dimension to the wings by just popping them up. So for this one, what I'll just do is either your Call-Al glue or I'll use my tacky glue for this one, just into the body here. And then what I can do, a bit of an angle, having already popped pearls into the middle, I'm just going to hold that. And then we can close that one over and then even just bring them up again.
Brilliant.
Still using that same stamp and die set, I've just popped You Make My Heart Flutter. Do a little shadow if you want to, it's entirely up to yourself, but I'm just going to add my glue there, pop it just down to the bottom here. Use my wet glue, so any little bits that just seep out, they do dry clear. I'm just wiping away my fingers. And let's just finish off just with the bow in that corner here. We're just going to use our glue gel for this one. Oh, throwing that away there. There we go, popping that one there. And I know it was a detailed one to start with, but now it'll get you thinking of the different layers, the combinations, the apertures that you can be doing, whether it is the nested shape dies, whether it is the detailed dies, whether you're doing inner page, outer page, frames, so many different ways when it comes to this one here.
A brilliant demo to get started, and I think actually, as Craig was pointing out there, a great demo to show you all of the different combinations, show you all of the different things that you can do. And don't forget, with this collection, 20 elements, because you're getting the 4 different frames. You've got your Torcan lace frame, your Irish lace, your Bobbin lace, and that Venetian lace frame as well. Only launched literally a couple of days ago, and you've already got it at a reduced price, which I think is just brilliant. I love how we do that. You know, we bring you new products, you think, well, it's going to be full price if it's new, but no, £41 or $60, so you're already saving over £10 or over $15. So grab it today. If you love the beautiful vintage lace, if you love the versatility, and as we've said, you know what, if you are kind of brand new to crafting as well, these kind of collections are brilliant because there's so many different things that you can do with them, so many different combinations as well. Lots of love coming in for the brand new collection, and lots of you saying as well, Bessing, I think these dies are so pretty. I got this set earlier and can't wait to get them. If you've got any of the previous collections, if you've got Sharon's Butterflies and Blooms collection you've worked with, that would love to see your pictures. You can send those in to us on the email as well. And as I say, any questions that you've got for Sharon, we can put those to her. We're going to cross back to Ireland right now, actually. Well, first things first, lots of people obviously chatting about this amazing collection, but also must deal with the fact that a lot of people are impressed with how organised your craft room is. Sharon, did you tidy it up specially, or is it always that neat?
That's the craft, yeah, this is my domain. Although, in fairness, on the other side of the screen, I wouldn't show it to anybody.
That's brilliant. So that's the neat side. The other side, it's all falling all over the place.
Yeah. Put it this way, I do not have a window, but I have got the great wall of plastic boxes on that side. So one falls to me and I'll be buried.
Brilliant. I love it. I love it. And let's talk about this collection as well. I think great first demo from Craig, as well as the beautiful designs. Like the versatility is the key, and I think he demonstrated that well, didn't he?
He did. A perfect example of how you can create a frame in a frame, create layers, create dimensions, and use the frames in different ways and combinations for different results. My thinking behind this collection was how many times I've gone into a craft shop to get a frame die, and you just get your frame die. And you go home and you're trying to match up your matting and layering to that frame die, or you're trying to think of what else is in your stash as a combination. So I just wanted to give people something that was an all-in-one, that takes the stress out of it and allows you to create more freely.
And super, as I said, for people who are perhaps starting in their crafts, these kind of collections are great for them, for being able to create these kind of layers on all of their cards and all of the frames as well. It's a good starting point, isn't it, too?
They are. It takes all the measurement out of the equation. I can remember when I first started crafting, way back when dies were just new, and you got a decorative die and you would freehand or free cut around a decorative element or an edge or a frame, and you never have that professional touch. Whereas with collections like this, it's just layer and cut, layer and cut, layer and cut. And then when you put it all together, a little bit of inking, a little bit of creativity, and you end up with an amazing project.
And where do you get your inspiration from for the designs as well? Are you always kind of thinking about new things as you're crafting, or do you get kind of inspiration come to you in the middle of the night? You know, do you wake up with a bit of a crafting epiphany?
Well, I do. I actually do carry a notebook around with me in my bag, and I'm always doodling or drawing. I've been known to stop in the middle of the supermarket when I'm seeing something, and at the moment it's taking me, and I just want to get it down on paper. But I'm also conscious as well about practical value and a bargain, and the longevity in a product and a usefulness. So when I design, I think about previous collections, what I could create that would add more value to previous collections, and also something that if I have a future vision for another product would say, yeah, that will work with that down the line. So it's not just a one-hit wonder when it comes to making your card. You can take these dies in a few months with another product that will come out either through, either for myself or Crafter's Companion, and you'll find that they're a perfect fit.
Well, there's already so much love coming in on the socials for this brand new collection. Lots of people, looks like they've placed their orders as well. Deborah saying, looking forward to receiving these pretty frames. And lots of people seem to have their favourites as well. Susie T saying, my favourite is the Venetian one. And Peggy saying, I love Sharon's designs and collections. They're so classic and beautiful. Must be nice when you kind of hear all of these comments. You get the feedback, because it must be a bit nerve-wracking when you launch like a new range to kind of think, whether the crafters are going to love it or not.
I tell you, there's no better feeling, because when, as a designer, you know what you like and you know what you would use, but you have to try and get in the mindset of other people, and you hope that you get it right. So to get feedback like this, it's humbling. I'm very grateful, and I appreciate every single one of the comments, and I'm on social, and I go back in afterwards and I read everybody's comments, and it makes you feel good.
Well, here's another one for you. Shannon on YouTube saying, I love all of Sharon's work, most especially the Christmas collection. So keep those lovely comments coming in. As always, if you want to post any questions to Sharon, we can get those across to her as well. And we'll come back to you very shortly, Sharon. We're going to have a look at the Butterflies and Blooms collection with you when we next cross back. But fantastic comments in. I'm so pleased that you're loving these collections as well. And Shannon's also just posted something really lovely, which I think is great. She just said, I went to the post office yesterday, and the post lady said she's never seen so many Christmas cards being sent out this year compared to previous years, and she's worked there 25 years. I love that. The fact that I truly believe that's all you guys getting crafty, and this year I think sending a nice card to somebody, a nice Christmas card to somebody, is going to mean even more after the year that we've had. And again, with a collection like this is the kind of thing that you can build into your Christmas makes as well, Craig, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely it is. It doesn't necessarily say birthday, wedding,
no.
Christmas. So you're able to incorporate so many ways. What I did do, now I'm going to post this on my Facebook because I forgot to bring it in.
What?
But what's a great way to do and use these ones. So we're going to be using the Torkin frame now, lace frames. So why not normal die, use your foil press, foil all that detail, and then cut it out on the backdrop there. Now I've done that at home, and I was meaning to bring it in, but I forgot. So I'll post it on my Facebook later on tonight. So just following the techniques, it's across on our YouTube. I've done it many times. We're using our normal die, foiling, so we get all that incredible detail, but then we can go around the outside with the frame and die cut it.
You're on Facebook again tonight, are you?
I am indeed.
You've not done a lot of Facebooks recently, have you?
No, not a lot. Just, this is what, my 12th night in a row.
Craig's 45-minute shows that he does on Facebook. So each night Craig is doing a Facebook Live on his Facebook page, Craig Laird, Crafters Companion. You can join. It's supposed to be 45 minutes with the Advent calendar. What was the one last night? 2 hours?
Last one was 2 hours 35 minutes.
That was one of the shorter ones, wasn't it?
That was one of the shorter ones, yeah. It's crafting. We get carried away.
Get nattering, don't you, as well?
We do. We get crafting, we get chatting, we chat about craft, we chat about things going on, in life.
We drink beer.
Yeah, I may have had a beer last night while we were chatting and crafting. And then, because what we do is we make whatever using whatever's behind that door for the advent calendar. We even used Best of British last night as well. So we just mix and match with ideas as well, and it's nice. It's just you, it's me from home, not in here, from my craft room, and it's a lot of fun. And before you know it, the time flies by.
Yeah.
And you know, it's 2.5 hours. Last week, the one night, it was like 3 hours. So it's nice. It flies by.
Wow.
So yeah, you know, there's even a few icons or elements that's become or come out of the advent calendar. These would look nice in some of these little ones. So even these little frames. So here we've got this little frame here. On night 2, we got a really nice, elegant rose stamp. You get the die to go with it as well. So even using pattern paper, just using some white cardstock on the backdrop, use Sharon's frame, and you can just pop the rose or many of the other elements that have come within the calendar as well. So absolutely, so many different ways. But what we will do on this one is we're going to do a bit of a concept card. So I've got here just a side stepper that I've just created. So we've got that one here, nice size for our mat and layer. So what I'm then going to do is I've just brought in my sunflower tones from a 12 by 12. Once again, this is the Torkin lace frame. So we are going to die cut just the outside. So this is the largest die. Going to die cut the outside of this one. And as you can see again, another one, it fits the Gemini Junior plates. So if you've got your Gemini Junior, it'll work through them. And of course, if they work through the Junior, they are going to work for your large Gemini. If you hear cracking like that, whether it's these dies, our dies, any dies, if you've got dies that are obviously around about a straight edge, a simple shape, and you've got relatively new plates, as you can see, mine's are really, really flat. They're relatively new, well used, but still relatively new, then you do get that noise, so don't worry and don't panic. So this now gives us this panel here. You can see there. Just to say as well, although I have just torn that little bit, if you are more precise, more careful, you could be then even using the waste that comes out.
Yeah.
You know, so although I'm not using that, but it's just to show that if you are more careful, why not use that part as well? So that could be a frame. So let's take that one to there for the time being. Let's bring in a bit of pattern paper that we've got here. And then this time what we're going to do, we are going to use our outside die again, and then we're going to bring in all of this filigree detail here.
Lovely.
So we can pop that one on. Let me just move that one out the way for the time being. And then we can just pop this one through.
Shaddai saying, I'm a Sharon Callis collector. What is that emoji? It's like a face with like the heart stuck to its, what do you call that one? It's got like heart stuck to its face. Not like the kissy emoji. What do you call that one? What does that mean? Is that just love?
I don't know what that one would be.
Anyway, Shaddai is a big fan. Oh, Shaddai, I'll read your jokes in a minute as well. Maxine also saying, I thought of foiling too, as I think they would look brilliant. And Janet H on YouTube, the lives Craig does are great. The conversation is great and always interesting, especially when he's had a beer as well, I bet. And Lynn says, Sharon's vintage lace collection is lovely. I was just going to say they would look lovely foiled. Thanks for your time, Craig, says Shaddai. You are superb. Let me find your joke, Shaddai. I was just watching Craig. Hang on a minute.
Can I just say, just now, Ben, so on this one here, so to create that die, I done this the other day as well. I popped this outside edge die. Now, I didn't need that outside edge because you've got the outside edge on the actual detail die.
Yeah.
However, if you do put them both together, like on that first demo, it still gives you this really thin filigree frame all the way around, this nice little border. So it's nice just to finish off or frame something as well. So if you do want to get that style, that really, really thin border, then just put them together. But there's no need to use this one to get that effect because the die has the outside edge anyway. So I just wanted to, in case anyone wonders, why's Craig got that frame again? That's why. Now here we go, and this gives you all the detail die just popped out.
So the two jokes then. Shaddai, how many elves does it take to change a light bulb?
Don't know.
10. 1 to change the light bulb and 9 to stand on each other's shoulders. I quite like that, that's good. And the other one, what was the elf allergic to?
I don't know.
Shellfish.
Shellfish. Shellfish.
Shelf, because it's elf.
Oh,
in there.
shelf.
Oh, come on, Craig.
I think you said shellfish.
It's like being back at home where I have to explain all my jokes to me wife and... what did you think? Swordfish?
Shellfish.
Oh, shellfish.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is shellfish. But
No, shell.
Shell. Oh, shell.
Shell as in
Fish.
like...
Oh, no, elf. Shelf.
Shelf. Like elf on a shelf.
Yeah, because it's an elf.
Yeah.
I don't know why I...
Oh, I get you. 10 minutes later.
Oh, dear. This is not worth it sometimes, is it?
Oh, yeah, there's just a waste on me.
Ben, you should join us sometime, says Diane Cup on Facebook. This is, I think, talking about your lives. It's a lot of fun hanging out with Craig and all the crafting friends. I might do one time. I will do a Facebook Live myself sometime. I won't be crafting, but just for a bit of a chit chat.
Yeah, just sit and chat. Yeah, just sit and chat. Yeah. It's amazing as well to see where so many people join from. So all over the UK, and we're also right across America. We've got right across Europe as well, that join us. We have a couple of ladies from Australia that join as well. So it really is just good to see. It's interesting to see. It's even, I know, being in Britain, we do love to talk about the weather, but it's fascinating to see. Last night it was raining outside my window, but then in Australia the sun was shining, it was roasting. Florida was a bit iffy. So it's just things like that I just find fascinating, all over the world, all chatting at the one time, or all together at the one time, and just seeing, different weathers and just everything that's going on in the world.
It's always raining up here.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't mind. I'm used to it because it's always raining in Scotland. So yeah, always raining. So I'm taking it. Did you notice I just about done that one again? So I just, because your die's got the outside edge, I don't need to use this one to cut out. We're just going to pop this one onto our pattern paper. If I bring my plates back in, then what this one does is then sits nicely on this layer that we've done. And then all we'll just start to do is we'll just assemble this one. So I'm not finishing it off with any details or butterflies. With this one, I just wanted to kind of show you the concept of decorating a concept card. Now, of course, you don't have to do a side stepper. This could just be a 7x7 card, an 8x8 card if you wanted to. It could be smaller if you use just some of these smaller dies. So bringing that one out here and then here. So we can see that then just sits nicely into the middle. But then don't forget you've still got even this one into the middle. So then this one you could die cut and this gives you another layer onto there, or cut into this layer, equally cut into this layer. That's where all these different options, the versatility comes from Sharon's dies. So on these ones here, let's just bring in our dotty tape runner and we're just going to go all the way around.
Apparently there's an Emojipedia online, so you can check out and see what emojis mean. I was chatting about. So what did that emoji mean earlier, Adrian? Oh, being in love with something or someone. The little face with the little hearts stuck to it. So Shadiah loves Sharon's collections. Emojipedia, eh?
What will the world come out with next?
Oh no, I only use about 3 different emojis. That's about it.
Yeah, I'm about the same actually. My friend, when she messages me, literally messages me with emojis.
Oh. Well, so you have to try and decipher what
I'm trying to work out what she's saying, in our message, just in emoji style. I'm like, just end up messaging her saying, can you just write it or phone me and just tell me?
It's got to take longer, surely, to type a message.
I would have thought so.
How do you type a message just emojis as well?
Yeah. My other friend writes her messages in like real short-term words.
Yeah.
Now, I'm quite with it, and, I can know what shortened words are, but there's even... Yeah.
He's really down with it. He's really down with the kids. There he is, dressed up as an elf.
I'm with it here.
Yeah.
Could be worse. I could have my antlers and my glasses on.
Elton John again.
Elton John again, yep. Yeah, might see it at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she writes everything in short term, and that's really...
So you know all the abbreviations like BTW and stuff like that, yeah?
Simple ones like that I do, yeah. By the way, is it?
Well, you should know. You're hip and cool. It is, by the way, yeah.
Yeah.
By the way. Yeah.
It is, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, I don't ever pretend to sort of be hip and cool and know, to be honest with you. I mean,
just comes naturally to you.
No, I'm just as a Christmas pudding, you know. This guy over here, no idea. I did get, though, earlier on from Katie Henderson. She said, "Hey Ben, here's today's," and she sent me about, must be 50 red heart emojis there. So
really?
I understand those.
That was Ben. That was Joe last week. Now Joe today.
Ben today.
What did I just say?
You said it was Joe last week and Joe today.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Joe last week and Ben today.
Only because I asked for them yesterday, to be fair.
Now for the inside, just to decorate, I've just done exactly the same as what I've done with this top layer here. But what you could also do is, if you were to then die cut this middle layer, this one here, if you were to die cut that out into white card and then just pop the layer into the middle, this now enables you to write your sentiment, your little verse if you wanted to. And then also don't forget, if you like to type and print out your verses, you know, on your laptop or computer, then you can still come along and then just die cut them as well. So you've got all these different ways. So whether, you know, when time allows, if you like to do your stalls, your craft fair market stalls, start to be using them as well.
How amazing is it going to be able to get back out and do all of that again? Honestly, I can't wait.
It's going to just be like a new sense of, you know, I don't want to say freedom, but do you know what I mean? It's
going to feel weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's going to feel weird. And again, you know, when we can maybe get back to, I don't know, shaking hands and hugging each other and stuff, it's going to feel so weird.
Do you know what I'm looking forward to as well, out of everything? Coming in here and taking a selfie with you, Derek or Joe, and to actually stand beside you.
Yeah.
You know, stand beside you. And I know that we can get as close as we can, but just to actually be beside you with no mask and take just a decent photo, and yeah, it's going to be nice.
Hopefully next year, 2021 will be better, won't it? Eh? It's got to be, surely.
At least, you know, we always say, you know, this year we are certainly, years down the line, we're going to be part of history. However, I'm kind of scared.
I'd rather have not been, to be honest.
Yeah, I know, we are. But, you know what's going to happen as well. 2021, out of everything that's going on, is going to be knowing the year that McDonald's shut. You just know it. You know, grandparents to parents, oh, in my day, McDonald's even shut for a couple of weeks or a week or however long it was.
No word of a lie, when it reopened back down my neck of the woods, there was a queue for about, it must have been a mile around the block. And you're like, seriously? What?
Yeah, it's like
you're queuing for a
as
mile
well,
to get a burger and some chips. What are you doing? There you are.
I suppose it's just nice for people just to get out. You know, if you can't get out for a meal or that, it was just nice for people just to kind of eat out, I suppose, and just something a bit different.
Yeah. Keep the comments coming in. Stacey just said, Ben, you could do a quiz night on your Facebook for your first live. It would be fun. Crafting quiz night.
That would be good.
Maybe I could do that before Christmas, maybe next weekend.
Our survey says... No, ding! It would say yeah. It would say yeah.
Well, look at this card. Hang on a minute. This is brilliant. All coming together lovely over there.
So, as I was saying a moment ago, sorry, just reaching over there, although that I'm not putting a lot of decoration onto it, what I am just going to do, and I'll be showing you just shortly, is I'm going to use the Thinking of You from the Arts and Flowers, so the butterflies and blooms, and we're going to then just die cut our sentiment. So you've got your backdrop here that I've already cut out into a bit of pattern paper. So that's then going to be our backdrop. And then just using another piece of the yellow card that's from the sunflower tones, I'm going to pop this one through, and then we can run it through onto my plate, which is here. And then this can then just sit into the bottom, and then that's all that I'm going to do. You can have a look at the card, and then obviously you can then decide, are you going to pop your toppers into it, maybe a sentiment, maybe something like our sentiment stamps we done, you know, a wee while ago, our nice ones, were like our verses, pop that into the middle, maybe toppers from Sarah's Signature, our nature garden, anything like that. There's so many different things that you could pop, or like that first demo that I done where I just popped a butterfly into the center, you could do that as well. You know, just have a look. It's one of those things as well, it lets you, it starts making you think about the other crafting things you've got in your collection that you can then start to incorporate and maybe just pop onto the front. So it begins to do that, and it just gets your imagination going again. It's good as, I always think of frame dies or nesting dies is if you are unsure what you're wanting to create, maybe you've got a bit of a creative block going on, you're just not sure what to do. If you start with nesting dies or frame dies, they're always a good way just to start. Gets the ideas going, because it's really easy to start to create a really nice card. You know, this way, even colorways, all that I've just done is cut the nesting dies.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Then again, a top or a sentiment just onto the top, and then it's sometimes just enough to get the creative juices flowing again, and for you to be well on your way. So I'm just going to bring this one back into the top of our layer. If I press that one on, and then here, let's bring in my pads. This one, I'm just going to pop down at the bottom. You could, of course, pop it into the middle. I am just going to pop it there. I'm going to leave it like that. You know, I could come in with the butterfly and blooms or that. I'm leaving it like that. Then you can think, you to create this style, have a think what you've got in your stash you could pop into the middle. Maybe nothing, leave it like that. Maybe a photo, use it as a frame. You've got your additional nesting dies. If I bring in this layered one, so if I just get a hold of this one, see if I can pick this up with my nails. So if I was to then cut my smaller one, he says, here it is. Let's get it, there we go. If I was to cut that one out, think of maybe a little photo that you've got of a family member, you know, your mum or your gran or your grandparents, could even sit into there. So this is where you can start to think, you know, the different things that you could use it for or create with them.
Just brilliant, and again, showing you the versatility, the key to this collection. And remember, well, I say remember, you might not have been with us from the start. You're getting 4 kind of collections here with 20 elements in total. Brand new as of 2 days ago, just absolutely gorgeous. And as I said, from Craig's demos, hopefully you're seeing the versatility with these. The fact that you can cut out the different layers. And then, of course, you've got these beautiful, beautiful layers with the lace edge there as well. 4 different designs with your Torken lace frame. You've then got your beautiful Irish lace frame as well. Absolutely stunning. They really are. Love this one as well. This is the Bobbin Lace. And then last, but by no means least, you have got that Venetian lace as well. A lot of people have been talking about that on the socials, saying that that is their favourite. But the point is, if you love them all, that's great news because you've got the opportunity to grab all of them. Brand new, as I say, as of a couple of days ago, £41 or $60. You're saving yourself $10.96 or $15.96 if you're in the US. And again, take another 20% off that if you're a platinum member. Kim's just asked, what is the email address to send pictures for you all to see? Well, it is studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. So do send in any pics. If you've been working with the Butterflies and Blooms collection, absolutely, we would love to see what you've been up to with that so we can show everybody else as well. And Darlene saying, hello, love the Christmas elves. You fellas are looking dashing this morning. I'm a pudding. I'm not an elf, I'm a pudding. Anyway, let's talk about this next collection with Sharon. This one launched, I want to say it was about a month ago, something like that. The time just flies by. The Butterflies and Blooms collection. It was absolutely, well, I say was, and it is a fantastic collection for the fact that you get so much in here, and also something which I really love, and I kind of remember Sharon for when I worked with her elsewhere, the quilling dies that you get within this collection as well. Details up on your screen here, £62 or $84 for the whole collection, 59 elements included in here. Sharon, just tell us a little bit about this Butterflies and Blooms collection for people who perhaps missed it on the Crafthouse, which was about a month ago, or was it further back than that?
Yes, it is 4 weekends ago now at this stage, and it's just absolutely flown. And people have absolutely gone crazy for this collection, so I'm thrilled to bring it back to you again today. It's a mix of flowers, sentiments, butterfly frames, and stamps and outline dies, so it's a great capsule collection.
It really is, and again, just so beautiful, so much detail. You've got kind of that lace design in there as well. And as I've said, what I love about it is that you've got those really clever quilling dies in there as well. So for people who have found that quite difficult to do and maybe fallen out of love with it, the system that you've built into the dies that are included in this collection is just phenomenal.
The concept for these quilling dies, you know me, I love making flowers, and I was a big fan of quilling. But quilling takes a long time, and traditionally you would have had to cut 2 layers of your flowers, then try and layer one over the other. You'd have to let that glue dry. But of course, when you went to quill it and roll it up, what would happen? It would split, it would buckle, the petals would be out of alignment. So I said, right, there has to be a simpler way of doing this. So I came up with this concept of where it's like having 2 pieces joined together, offset, and once you cut, fold it over, you just quill it, little glue at the end to secure, and you have your flower. And it takes roughly about 20-25 seconds to make a flower once you have cut. It's so quick.
It's just brilliant. I know you've got the boards for the whole collection. In front of you there are the 2 quilling dies. So you've got the peony and the rose. And it's such a simple system. You can talk us through it maybe.
Yeah, it's so simple. So in this collection, we started off with 2 flowers. And the reason we've done 2 is to kind of give you an introduction into this concept of the cut, fold and roll quilling die. So what you get is, right, so this one here is the peony and this one here is the rose. You'll notice on this straight away, now I might actually bring it up so you can actually see it a bit closer. I'll rob Sarah's Zoom again. So up here, so along here, there's actually a perforated line. Now, with this, because it folds over, I recommend you cut this out of double-sided paper where the colour is the same on both sides. However, if you don't have double-sided paper, no problem. Break it apart along the perforation and go back to the traditional way of quilling. So you can still use it with single-sided paper. But basically, this is your one cut where you would have had 2. And all you have to do is fold it along the perforation. And I've got one cut out here if you have a second then. And I'll just show you what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be great.
This is a die cut here. I'll just bring that in. So this is the die cut itself here. And you see there's the perforation along here. So all I'm going to do is, now this is out of textured cardstock as well. So you can make the flowers out of anything, from vellum, from tissue paper even from fabric and from the flower foam. But this is from the textured cardstock. And can you see there, the alignment that's in those petals?
Yeah.
Is all already done for you. You didn't have to glue it together. It's already stuck in position. And then all you have to do is get your quilling tool and get your glue. So you put it on the quilling tool at the end, give it one turn just to secure it. And then I'm only putting 1 or 2 dots of glue because glue will travel when you go to quill a flower. So it'll actually move down for you. And that's it. You just cut it, you fold it, and you roll it. Now, you can take time to decorate the petals, to mold them, to shape them with the ball tool, etc. So just secure it on the end, and then you just hold it for a second. But this is what you end up with. And all you have to do then is just go around and do that.
That's amazing.
And open up your flower. So how quick and how simple is that? The alignment is done for you. You don't have to worry about have your petals spaced properly or anything like that. Now that bloom there, the dimensions underneath, I'm just going to pop it off the quilling tool. And you look underneath that there, right? So that's about 10 mil.
Yeah.
If I was to have used red liner tape, because of the thickness of the tape, it would have brought it out a bit more. So you could actually end up with like a thicker bloom. And there's nothing stopping you as well. Once you stop there, cut another strip, add it on and keep going. And then you get wider blooms. But that's the concept and how simple it is to work those flowers. And once you master one flower, the method is the same for every single flower across the collections.
And the point is with this, there's loads of lovely comments coming in already. These are just a small component of you got with this collection. I know we're going to see the other boards of this collection with Sharon, but Lynn's saying, I have Sharon's Butterflies and Blooms collection. I love it. Patricia on YouTube saying, I love these dies, making quilling so much easier to do. Also like the size of the finished product. And that is the point, isn't it? Just making something which is potentially quite difficult to do. It's so much easier with this technique and with this die. And Shannon saying, I like how her quilling flowers are together. So there you go. Yes, you get both of those in there. So you've got the peony and the rose, but there's so much more to this collection as well, isn't there, Sharon?
So much more. So in this as well, now this is going back to my delicate and your frames and your lace. So you have two butterflies in the collection. You've got Mariposa and Vanessa. Now, for both of these, what you get in this collection is you get a base die. So this is your outline and your base. Over that, then you get this decorative element die. So It's quite delicate. It has lots of detail in it. But the thing about this is, once that sits over, there are certain areas here that are kind of hints for placement for your flowers or for your gems. You can have it flat or you can bend up the petals and have it more dimensional. Then you get your butterfly die. But the beauty of it is, you see this frame here, that's actually the weight that comes out of it.
Yeah.
Now, you can keep that and stamp on it, or you can have it and layer your butterfly on top. So there's a combination that you have there. You can use it with or without. Use those two together, use those two together, or just use those two together. So there's a mix and match element as well with that. That's the Mariposa. And then it's the same with the Vanessa. And somebody pointed out to me, they've actually done a project where they've cut that along here and they've turned that into clouds.
Oh, that's a brilliant idea. I love that.
that.
It's so funny, isn't it, what other people see that perhaps you don't see, and then they go down a completely different line.
They come back, yes, so they did their mountains, cut that in half and have them as clouds come up behind it. I thought it was so clever. Now, on both the butterflies, we have kinetic wings as well. So you have this element where they can lift up. And once you cut them, if you put them through with the embossing mat, it also brings up extra detail when you're cutting and when you're adding your inks, etc. to them. So that was the two butterflies. But then, now this is, I mean, people have said, wow, these should have been on their own. They would have been enough.
Yeah.
Because you get butterflies, but you also get the outline dies. And I'm just going to open this pack here just to show you what you get in the pack. Because there's a couple of things that when I was designing on both these packs that I was thinking of. So you do get your stamps. So on your stamps, and you'll see them here, there are little places in this. And now these are perfect with your Spectre Noir, and they're gorgeous with the aqua markers. But if you see there's lots of dots and points here, they're kind of hints of where you can put your gems and your sparkles. So all these come with two large, but if you look at the smaller ones, they're actually the negative of the bigger ones. So you can put them, stamp and put them both, but layer that over this one to add a bit more dimension.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you have your sentiments for that. But with these stamps on their own, you also get this set of outline dies. But have a look at these. There again, they can be used on their own as butterflies, or they could be used as fairy wings. I love this one here, the larger one here, because I think that would be perfect. So if you have any of your enchanted collection, you know, stars, fairies, stamp them up the silhouette, but cut this out, and there you've got your fairy wings for behind them.
Brilliant.
So that was the Butterfly Love collection.
Uh-huh.
And then when you move in then to the Butterfly Friendship, again, you get two large butterfly stamps, and the style of them all is quite different. You know, there's a different look, as you can see them beside each other. So I think that looks more like a moth. So if you're doing your steampunk or vintage project, you could use that. You know, that's more delicate and that's more elegant. So there's a mix and match among them all. Again, you have your negatives and you have your sentiments to go with that. And then finally, then we have our layered sentiments. So we have sending love and thinking of you, and Craig used the thinking of you there in his last demo. So you can use them with or without the mat underneath them. But that was your two sentiments. So that's the whole capsule there.
It's a fantastic collection. We've got some comments coming in and a question as well, actually, Sharon, which I'll put to you. But Beth saying, thank you so much for demonstrating the quilling. I now have these in my basket, which is great. Crafty Age is saying, not really my thing, but this is so fascinating. I really want to give it a try. Again, that's great to hear. You know, if you wouldn't normally go for something like this, and now you've seen the demo. Stacey on Facebook has asked, can you ask Sharon if you can put stamens in with them before you start quilling?
Yes, you can. And what I recommend is with your stamen, when you have your quilling tool and you're about to put, sorry, I'm going to grab another piece now. I don't have a stamen, but you know, it's the same if you want to put wire into these, because don't forget, you can put wire in these and then get the Oasis and make a floral display. But when you have your die cut done like that, and you're going to put this on the quilling tool, turn, grab a stamen, hold it beside the top of the quilling tool, and just give it 2 or 3 turns. It's held in place, and just continue quilling down.
Excellent.
There's no problem at all.
There we go, Stacey. Hopefully that's answered that. Shaddai saying, Sharon, your butterflies are the best, especially on Miri cardstock. And Mary Pat on YouTube, I've always loved quilling, but would put it off because of the time commitment. When I saw Sharon's quilling dies, I snatched them up immediately. I love them. Safe to say there's a lot of love for this collection. I think it is phenomenal. Remember, it's not, I mean, the quilling dies are amazing in this collection. They really are. But the fact that you get everything else that Sharon has just showed you there for £62 today or $84, take off your 20% and that price comes down even lower for you as well. It is a wonderful collection once again from Sharon. We will come back to you again very shortly, but thank you so much. Just brilliant, isn't it, to see the demo, see the quilling being used as well. But grab these today, honestly. You will love them. Mary has sent in a picture. We've got some pictures coming in using Sharon's collection here. I mean, take a look at this. Absolutely, gorgeous. Got a quick snapshot of that. You had to be quick to see it. Oh, hang on a minute. There's me. You didn't want to see me, did you not? No. Mary's not sent in a picture of me.
She done well with that one, didn't she? That looks awesome. It's like a portrait.
Oh, dear. There we go. We'll try again. Let's see if it stays. Stay picture. There we go. Oh, brilliant. Mary, yeah, absolutely gorgeous. Love that. That's much better than the previous picture you saw a few moments ago of me dressed up as a Christmas pudding. But thank you so much. Do keep sending in the pictures. It did just make me laugh, actually, whilst Sharon was talking over in Ireland there, of course. Producer Johnny just said, loving all the different accents on the show today. It's like some sort of joke, isn't it, this today? Englishman, Irishwoman and a Scotsman. You couldn't have lined it up better, really, could you? But listen, hopefully you are enjoying the show. Any more questions or comments you want to send our way, we would love to hear from you. We've only got 45 minutes left, but we're back here at Crafters TV Towers, and we're going to get Craig set off with another demo. There's another question just come in, actually, which I don't know if you can address before the demo or during. Shannon on YouTube says, I'm not very good with lining up stamping with the dies. Is there a trick to doing that?
We could, we'll do that next with this demo here. It's one of those things, what I would say is give each of the options a shot. And what I mean by that is either cutting out and then stamping, or stamping, then cutting out.
Which do you do?
So I always like to then cut out first. So if I'm doing it on a white card, I then see that really nice white outline of the die cut to stamp on top. But then some people find it easier to stamp first. Then they've got that stamped impression to look at while they line up. But what we'll do is we'll do it in with this one as well, just to give you a bit of an idea. Always things like stamping presses, stamping platforms, they're always going to help. But we'll do it anyway just at the end of this one. Okie doke.
So we're going to concentrate on the butterflies and blooms collection. What are you picking out from this?
We're going to go for Vanessa on this one here.
Okay.
Just to say as well, over the last couple of months, certainly with the butterfly and blooms, I've been using them a fair few times actually, fair few bits. And back in October, when they launched on HSM before coming here, myself and Sharon, we spoke, and I like to think I know quite a lot about our collection, certainly of butterfly and blooms, although I did learn, I didn't even realise that the smaller butterflies are actually the negative of the larger ones.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that. So absolutely, this now pushes them beyond, because you can be then stamping into the middle of your larger butterflies. Now, that's just phenomenal. So whether you stamp the large ones in black, do a bit of heat embossing with the negatives into the middle, just absolutely blew my mind when I was listening to Sharon saying that there. Just awesome. So what we'll do is we'll bring in Vanessa for this one here, and I'm going to bring in a piece of our cardstock, our white cardstock, and we've got the main outline die of this one. So what I'm going to do is if I go for the next layer in, so this is then taking this one. So what will happen is, let's also take this one and just a piece of our pink cardstock. So the main colour cardstock I've been using throughout all of these are from our 12 by 12 texture cardstock. So the main base I'm going to pop onto this lovely pink colour.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to the middle layer of the design, I'm going to do it onto our white. This is actually our smooth white cardstock for this one. And then what I'm just going to do is I'm going to bring, just my scissors, I'm just going to trim that way. I've just done a bigger bit of card because I'll need it again just shortly. So if we then just go on to our junior, and you know that 9 times out of 10, where possible, I always use my Gemini Junior first. However, you can be using your large Gemini. If you use your large Gemini, then what you can do, of course, is, you know, you could be doing them both at the same time. And in actual fact, we'd be able to die cut both of these at the same time as well, because they'll just fit on your junior plates. But when it comes to your larger plates, obviously, the larger the plates, the more that you could actually do on them. But as I say, I do like to just use my junior. So let's run that one through. And the one that I've finished, I've got layers where I've gone a wee bit further. So for instance, what I mean by that is this one here, I've cut out into the pink, and all that I've just gone and done is just with a little sanding block or just a little bit of sandpaper or just a bit of fine paper, what I've just done is I've just gone round the edges and just distressed it just with a little bit of sandpaper. So that little bit I've cut out because, you know, you could be doing that at home, but it shows you that's how it looks when it cut out. And again, another thing I learned, cut that down. That could be looking at clouds.
Yeah,
you know, you could be using that elsewhere in your craft in a great way. Or even as a stencil.
Yeah.
Stencil round it with your water reactive inks. So that would be good. So I've just sanded that back just ever so slightly. So we'll pop that one there. So then let's take this one. We're going to then bring in our butterfly here. Gorgeous. So we can pop that one on, and let's tape this one down, and also we're going to run it through.
You know what I love about this collection as well? Not only the artwork and all of the designs, but I love, I know we keep talking about these, but the quilling dies that you get with it, because you wouldn't normally expect to get, I don't know, something like that within a collection like this. So it's almost as if you love all of the dies and the designs, as I know you will, then you almost, like, even if you've never tried like quilling before, the fact that you get those thrown in almost gives you something brand new to try as well. And it is such a clever system. It's something which, as I say, I knew Sharon for before I came here to Crafthouse TV, and just a brilliant way to be able to put these flowers together. And like Crafty AJ was saying, you know, never really thought about using something like that, but now he's seen how easy it is to do. You know, it might set other people off on a different craft. That's right. And,
you know, it totally blew my mind when I originally first come across Sharon's concept of the quilling flowers, because quilling flowers can look really nice, and you can do different ways of using them. However, it is time consuming, and it's one of those I wouldn't think twice to sit and paper piece or cut out, but to sit and quill flowers, although they're going to look gorgeous, it is a time consuming. Whereas obviously what Sharon's come up with, uber fast,
yeah.
But what you can actually do, they actually look better than what I would say is the original form of creating the quilling flowers. So it really does just take them to the next level. So if I then just take this one off, So if I take this one off here, moving that one out the way. So because I popped my little butterfly in the middle, this has given me a really nice fine butterfly. So what about maybe a piece of vellum into the background? So instead of using the butterfly die or the butterfly stamp, using it as to pop it onto top of vellum, or maybe patterned acetate or foiled acetate, looks really effective. So let's take our butterfly out here, and then we can then just start to take this one out. And I'm going to be careful because we do have these elevated wings within the middle.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to, for all the time, let's just poke them ones out. And I'm just holding in the centre of, well, the centre of the top part of the butterfly, just to have a bit of control. And this is where we've got the wings that just nicely pop out. So another way of giving you dimension with actually out using height in a form of foam pads or glue gel. So then we can take this one out as well, and then let's just nicely pop this one out, just carefully removing this one.
So much detail, isn't there?
There's so much. And perfect for, as Sharon was saying, when it comes to certainly the other set, but even when it comes to this one here with Vanessa, you know, in the middle of the flowers, pop your gems, pop your pearls. If you like all these other crafts out there, you know, where you get lots of crystals or gems or that, you've got them left over, you don't know how to use them, little bit of tacky glue, then use them within your sets from Sharon. So you've got all that option as well. So then what we can do, so let's pop our butterfly to the side, so we can then bring in our butterfly here. That can then, because we've just sanded slightly, we've still got that really nice bit of pink that just nicely pops out. So that can sit into there. What I've also done as well beforehand is, well, after actually, start that again, Ben. What I've also done afterhand is Afterhand?
Is that even a thing?
I don't know. Afterwards, afterhand.
Yeah, I quite like afterhand.
You know, yeah, afterhand. Could be a new one. Could be a new one.
I forgot that.
Yeah, that's it. Top comma and afterhand. There we go. Word of the day. 2 words of the day. And this is another step that I've just missed out because, again, we want to get through as much as we can. But just with our water reactive inks, we've gone for pink tulip again for this one. Pink tulip, and we've just nipped round the edges. This one here, I've just gone round with a light bit of fuchsia, and to make sure that I don't get any of the fuchsia on the outside, what I've just done is I've just taken a bit of scrap card or paper and I just popped it underneath.
Yeah.
So we can see that there. So that then covers up the backdrop, and then I've just gone over with my blending pad and just gone over with the fuchsia, and then that stops it from transferring through. So then let's pop this one to the side. I've already created a bit of a 5x7 easel card here. So let's just assemble this one together. And I think sometimes as well, as you can see with this layer here, I've used purple. And many times you think to use an outline die or a detailed die, you've got to use something like a deep purple or navy or black to really make it stand out. But you can see, to really make it stand out, what we have used is pinks and whites.
Yeah.
So if you use the lighter colours on top of darker colours, that can work in reverse as well. So you can get completely different looks. So just going to be layering these ones up once again.
There's a lot of love for this butterfly, by the way, coming in on the socials. Loads of people loving the butterflies. You get a lot within this collection. If butterflies are your thing, you need this collection in your life. Honestly, it is gorgeous, as Craig is currently demonstrating to you. But it's for £62, everything that you get in this collection is it's a wonderful buy. And the kind of thing, again, that we chatted so much about this today, the versatility that you've got with loads of the collections that we bring to you. This is another one that's not kind of pigeonholed for one particular thing. This is the kind of collection you will use week in, week out for all sorts of, different celebrations and anniversaries and birthdays and what have you. It just covers such a scope of projects, doesn't it?
It does. It really, really does. And it's one of those, I do like to point this out because some people find it really hard. A sympathy card is not a card that we like to make.
No.
But when you do, you want it to be really subtle. You want it to be lovely. Now, maybe you could put that purple in, that wouldn't be offensive. But even then, if you just keep that purple out, still use this butterfly set here, the Vanessa, using the pinks, using the whites, you know, even maybe keep the butterfly white there, just with a sympathy message or that, you know, you absolutely could. Go that one bit further, use your glitter card, use your vellums and that for a wedding card or that anniversary card. So it really does open up that scope of so many different occasions.
A few more questions coming in, which there's one for Sharon actually, and there's a couple for you, Craig, which we'll do in just a few seconds. Still time to get this in, or actually no, there's 3 for you. What paper is Craig using with the flowers on? It's very pretty, says Peggy.
The pattern paper, I will be honest, I'm going to have to double check because I've got a paper pad at home that doesn't have a front cover on it.
That's useful.
That's useful, isn't it? And,
yeah.
and I should, being honest with you, I shouldn't use it without knowing what one it is. But I really I really like the design. So what I'm going to do is I will double check and I will pop it on both my Facebook and Insta later on tonight, just in case anyone is wondering. But yeah, that's why I used it, because I thought it worked really, really well with the actual butterflies. So I'm just going to pop that one on. But I will get back to you to let you know, I promise.
It's not Rose Garden, is it?
It's not Rose Garden, no.
He will get back to you as well. He's very good like that.
Oh, I will.
Yeah. On his live tonight. Did he tell you he was doing a live? 8 o'clock tonight, UK time. That's 3 o'clock Eastern, 12, midday West Coast. I would, do you know what? I would join you tonight, but I'm into the old I like a bit of that on a Saturday night.
I keep thinking this is Sunday. Do you know that?
No, it isn't Sunday.
No, it is Saturday, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. It's if it was Sunday, I don't know what you'd be doing because you're not supposed to be here.
No, I know.
It's Jan tomorrow. My first ever show is with Jan tomorrow. It's double Ben and Jan Day.
Fab.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That should be good. What we got tomorrow? Second Chance. Oh yeah, Second Chance Sunday tomorrow. Yes, a lot on that show. Again, that's not a show that I don't think I've done many Sundays here actually. I don't know how that can be, but I don't feel like I've done many Second Chance Sundays. I guess that's a best of show, is it? I've got to bring all the best of show, and I've got to bring all the cakes. Producer Johnny says. That's not the rules, is it? Is that the rules, Craig?
It is, yeah.
Presenter brings the cakes.
Cakes and the coffee.
Oh, feeling a bit ill actually. I don't know if I'll be feeling a bit faint. Well, all right. Well, as soon as I might just do that because I like you guys. I like you. Oh, but Craig won't be here. He won't be able to have any of the cakes.
I don't mind. Jan's here, so Jan will be able to have some fun with it. Second Chance Sunday. Yeah. And she can have mine. Okay, well, that's very kind. If I bother to, I'll probably forget, to be fair. I'll probably forget. Yeah, forget.
Yeah.
Seem to be forgetting a lot lately, Ben.
Yeah, like I forgot my trainers last week for Sarah's 5 a.m. run or whatever it was. Come on. I may look stupid. Sorry if you're watching, I really did forget them. I did, honestly. And they got holes in and everything. I need some new trainers for Christmas. That's what I've asked Father Christmas for this year. New trainers. Oh dear. Lots of comments still coming in, by the way. Loads of you loving this die particularly. Dee saying, love that butterfly die. Nancy, this is a beautiful die. This is going to be gorgeous, Craig, says Diane. And just going back to what Craig was saying earlier on about different styles of card that you can use these for, and talking about sympathy. Purple, says Ro, perfect for sympathy cards because it means peaceful passing. Well, I did not know that.
I didn't either.
Useful to know. So purple, a great colour to choose if you have to make sympathy. Again, we hope that you're not using this collection to make sympathy cards, but sometimes you have it, and again, this is a great collection to be able to use for that should you need it.
It is indeed. It really, really is. What I've just done here is I've used the Send and Love. Now I have this one already coloured, but I just wanted to die cut even the sentiment in the backdrop so that you could see how well it works together. So you can see how. Now I've said it with some of our past alphabets, and the same goes for Sharon. You've got this really nice delicate font of sending on that top part, and it might sound silly, but it's readable. So you've got that nice script font, but
Yeah.
it is a readable one that you can read. You know, sometimes you can get some out there within other collections elsewhere, and you don't know what it's saying.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, you can tell it's saying sending, and then you've got your love.
Yeah.
So the sending love I just popped onto pattern paper, and then the white card I just went round with another bit of pink tulip round the edges. So we can use that one. Onto the base, what I just done is I die cut another middle layer of the butterfly of Vanessa and pop that within the middle. So we've got even like a little butterfly aperture that you could be using as well elsewhere. But we're just going to layer this one up into the middle. And then what we can do is if I pop that one there, then to finish off using the stamp set, which is the Butterfly Friendship, so we can got just here, I have just stamped and die cut a couple of these little butterflies just here. So the negative ones that I just learnt today. So we've just stamped them. Pink fuchsia, done these within the actual our quick dry ink pads for these ones. And then once again, just like I've been doing a couple of times, just bending the ink, just bending the wings up, and then I'm just going to pop them just into each corner. And because I've popped the Sending Love on foam pads, that's going to enable it to be a stopper. But then also the wings could equally do the same. So once they are fully tacked down with the glue, you could even potentially use them as the stopper part of the card. So I'm going to leave this one here. I've got gems. I'm not going to start putting them on, but I'll show you the one that I have already done.
Yeah.
So if I bring that one here, so a main idea is, so the sentiment is the stopper just here. But then once the butterfly wings are dried, what you could do is you could then use those wings as a stopper. You could make the card a bit lower down and use the butterfly just here as a stopper. But then if I bring this one in, and then what we've just done is in the center of all these little flowers, I've just popped some little silver gems just within the middle there. And of course, the butterfly wings, these stick up. And then the body of the butterfly as well, I only just stuck down. So then these for the backdrop of the wings can equally just sit up as well. But then of course it does fold flat, even though it's an easel card, pop a couple of foam pads on, but then that is how you can have them looking just like that, mainly using the Vanessa set.
Just absolutely gorgeous. I've got a couple of questions, sort of generic questions, if you'd like to throw to Craig just a second. You might need to get your ruler out in a minute. Someone wants to know the size of that thank you card that you got by you, just to preempt you on that one. But just talking about this collection, it's amazing, isn't it? £62 at $84 for the whole thing. You've got the beautiful Sending Love and Thinking of You dies. Then, of course, in there as well, you've got those amazing quilling dies. More on that very shortly indeed, because I think Sharon's got something to talk about as far as those are concerned as well. And then, of course, we've got your two beautiful butterflies, Vanessa and Mariposa. And then we've obviously got the Butterfly Love and Butterfly Friendship stamp and die sets as well. It's a phenomenal collection, £62 or $84, 59 elements in total. Launched, as I say, in about a month. 6 weeks ago, something like that. $49.60 if you're a platinum member, which is awesome, or $67.20. Back to Sharon in just a second. So a couple of quick questions. Sherry asks you then, what is the size of the thank you card next to you, Craig? That thank you card, that one, the red one, there, yeah.
This one here.
What's the size of that one? Do we know?
It is, so it folds flat,
yeah,
as you can see just here, so it does fold flat. So once it is all upright, it is, let's do it that way, so it is 8 inches,
yep,
by 8 1/4 inches, and then the width, once it is all sitting upright, so the width of it is 1 3/4. So if you were to make a box for this, although it folds flat, if you wanted to pop in a box, then what you would then just do is make sure the depth is 1 3/4. However, just to say as well though, if you do fold it flat like that to pop it into an envelope, then that is 8 by 8 1/4.
Fantastic,
so
thank you. And one more question from Dawn on YouTube, who says, if you want to stamp and colour in with alcohol markers, what is the best paper to use?
So what to do is, if you're stamping, and it just reminded me there, I said we were going to stamp and die cut a butterfly, didn't we? So we will do it before the end of the show. So if you are just stamping straight on with something like our quick dry, then what you're going to use is you could just use our smooth stamping card, our white smooth stamping card. If you're stamping with the intention of colouring in with your markers, then if you use our Nina cardstock, then that's going to be good for actually being able to colour in. So there are the two options.
Brilliant. There we go. Any more questions? Thank you, Craig. Keep those coming in. Kathy saying, got my order in to have those butterflies, and lots of love for that last card as well. Susie T saying, Craig, stunning. Definitely a gorgeous card, Craig, says Diane. Let's cross back to Ireland and say hello again to Sharon. Have you got a ruler handy? Because I know you're going to show us more on those quilling dies, but who was it? Someone was asking, hang on a minute, I'll find it now. Cindy saying, will Sharon's quilling dies fit on the paper CC quilling strips I have, or are they too wide? So basically she's saying, could you tell us the measurement of the quilling dies?
The quilling dies, yeah, no problem. Well, I'll measure the die cut here when it comes out, okay? So the length of it is 6 inches. Yeah. And the width of it is 1 1/4 inches.
Lovely. Thank you. And I know you wanted to chat further about the quilling with the stamens. That's the word I'm looking for, with the stamens, didn't you?
Yeah. I've actually found a sample here done by Joanna Spears, and I'll just bring it up. Can you see there?
There we go.
There we go. So yeah, there's no problem. That's what it looks like with the stamens in the middle. So basically, you just hold the stamen against the quilling tool when you're quilling it, and there's no problem, the stamens go in there, so that's a gorgeous one. But of course, you can have as well, and I'll just bring this one up just to show you some finishes for the flowers. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you can put a little diamond or a gem, or you could leave the bloom closed. You see?
Yes.
So that is the same flower, so that's the rose, but it's closed on one, and I flattened it on the other and put a gem in the center. So you have the basis there with the die itself, but you can style it however you want and however you feel, and you want it to look. So one quilling die, you could get 2 or 3 different styles of flower from that. No problem at all.
Absolutely. There's so much love, Sharon, coming in for the Butterflies and Blooms collection. And I think a lot of people, as we just heard from that last demo, loving the butterflies, but a lot of people, I think, being tempted by the fact that you've got those quilling dies in there. Maybe people haven't tried it before and they now want to have a go because they've seen how easy it is to do. So I think it's brilliant. Remember, £62 or $84. That was, of course, the collection that Sharon launched with us about a month, 5 weeks ago, which was, hugely busy and is still busy again today. But of course, we've got a brand new launch today as well, literally a couple of days old, which is the Vintage Lace Frames collection. I know you chatted about this at the start of the show and we looked at the boards, but lots of people have jumped in since. So talk us about this brand new collection and show us the boards that you've got as well, if we can.
Yeah, no problem at all. And the beauty of the new Lace Frames collection is that you can use it with your Butterflies and Blooms collection to extend the scope of how that collection looks and is used. So, the butterflies and the sentiments will all fit in these as well. So this is the Vintage Lace nesting dies. So in each pack for each die set, you will get 5 dies. So you'll get 2 decorative dies, but you'll also get 3 matte dies as well. So for your matching and layering, you can mix and match. You could use, and in fact, you can use the decorative ones without the matte, or use the matte without the decorative layer. So again, that's another way that you can use them. Perfect for gift tags as well. I think that would be gorgeous, even that small one there for a little frame, a picture of somebody with Santa Claus on it. Put a little bit of ribbon on it, hanging on a tree, and I think that'd be absolutely gorgeous. So that's the Irish lace frame. So that's square, that's rectangle. But again, and I say it with them all, you get a totally different look when you turn it the other way, because the designs, another thing, the designs along the sides are different to the designs on the top. So it draws your eye in a different way as well. And I'm going to tell you a secret of something I put into these as well in a minute. Nobody has spotted yet, but it might be obvious when I tell you. but this is the Bobbin Lace frame. So this is a round frame, delicate again, and as you can see, there's a lot of detail that is in these frames. Then we have the Torkin Lace frame. So this square one, this is actually perfect as well, because with the outside die, and as Craig has demonstrated, you can use these to create your card bases themselves as well. And then you can go ahead and you can decorate them. You can actually, if you look at this one in particular, if you were to cut this here and you were to cut it along here, you would have a lovely corner. So take the inside die, cut it out so you have a frame, but then snip it here and here, and you've got 4 corner frames as well. So if you wanted to expand the scope of that into an 8x8 card, you could actually have your border dies, then you could have the decorative die then in the center. And then finally, we have the Venetian Lace frame. So this one is my favorite. It's very fairy tale or mirror or Victorian Georgian kind of era on that one. So again, you get a different look when you turn it that way because of the design and the dimension that you can build up on it. All these were cut with the textured card stock, but gorgeous in your mirror cards or your craft cards, even vellums as well. And of course, the dies themselves will cut acetate and vellums and other materials. But can I tell you the little secret and see if anybody can spot it?
Oh, go on then. Go on.
Okay, so Craig, can you pick up the Venetian Lace frame die there for a second?
I will do.
Oh, hang on a minute. What's going on here? Right.
Okay, right. So I just want you to look at the top of the die and tell me, do you see the bumblebee?
Oh my word, yeah.
What?
You see the bumblebee?
Oh my word.
Oh, I can see it as well.
Oh my word.
There's a little hidden bumblebee.
Wow.
Can you see?
And this is what I'm talking about for future designs, because little bumblebees may appear down the line, so you'll be able to use this with that.
That's brilliant.
That is brilliant, isn't it?
Right, if you take up the Torkin Lace and you turn it on its axis like that, can you see the ladybird?
Hang on a minute.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You see the
I've still got a bit of
ladybird in the
paper in
corner?
mine, but right here, in the corner.
That's brilliant.
In the corner.
In the corner, there's a ladybird.
Yeah. Oh my word. That's brilliant.
If you take up the, like if you just go through them and you look at the sides of it as well, right?
Which one's this one?
There's another little ladybug there on that one.
That's the Bobbin Lace, isn't it?
Bobbin Lace.
Yeah, the Bobbin Lace, yeah. And then if you go to the Irish Lace, then you'll see a little cricket.
A little what? Cricket?
Little
Irish
cricket.
Lace. Here.
That's
That
phenomenal.
is brilliant.
Yeah, so this is what I told Craig before about little Easter eggs I like to put in.
Yeah.
That's it, isn't it? That's like what they have in the movies, yeah, like the little Easter eggs, little things to look out for. This is brilliant. Producer Johnny has just gone, people have just lost their minds over that, and people are going crazy for this collection. That's amazing, Sharon. I love the fact that you showed us at the top of the show, didn't even really mention it, and that you've kind of like got us now, hook, line and sinker. That just is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, so these will work with other collections down the line. So when other things come out and you're looking for your nesting frames and stuff, so if you use the larger portions of these collections, they'll work perfectly with that. Well, that's all I'm saying. I've said too much.
Let me just read you a few comments here because there's so much love coming in. Stephen saying, really cannot wait till all my collections to arrive after seeing these fab demos. Kathy, who messaged earlier to say that she got her hands on the Butterflies and Blooms collection, has now said, I've got that vintage lace set ordered too. I can't wait. Stephanie saying, hidden bumblebees, ladybirds, Awesome. Shannon, you're so talented, Sharon Callis, like finding where's Waldo in your dies. That is brilliant. And Beth saying, love that. I'm so glad that I have got these now. Kathy saying, after hearing her, can we put a rush order on our orders? A rush order on our orders? Or just get it now, as quick as you can. There was a question, actually, someone earlier on asking, will there be more quilling dies in the future? That was Anne's question for you.
Absolutely. This is just a taster, just to introduce people to the concept of the quilling dies. And anyone who's familiar out there with my previous quilling flower collections will know that my previous flowers were geared more towards decor and larger projects, but there's going to be a lot more geared towards card making and paper crafting in general, but there's a lot more flowers, a lot more flowers. And in fact, right, March, there's something coming in March that will blow your mind.
What a tease this Sharon Callis is. Unbelievable. She's hiding things from us. She's teasing us. This is too much. Well, listen, thank you so much for that. We'll come back and say goodbye before we finish, but we've only got 15 minutes left, so we're going to get another. What a tease. What a tease. Everyone's can't believe it now. Hidden bumblebees, hidden ladybirds, cricket. What's going on? I love that. Who was it you said this is like a crafting Where's Wally or Where's Waldo, as he's called in the States. Just amazing, right? You want them even more now, don't you? I know. £41 or $60, launched literally 2 days ago. You can be one of the very first to get your hands on these vintage lace frames. We loved them in the first place, didn't we? We loved them after Sharon had shown them to us first up and then saw Craig's demos. We love them even more now, Craig, don't we?
Yeah, obviously that's two things now I've learned as well that I didn't even realise is obviously that the negative of the butterfly, or the wee butterflies, are actually the negative of the larger ones, and then these ones as well with the bumblebee, the cricket, butterfly, just blew my mind there, absolutely blew my mind. But what we're going to do is we will at least get a demo finished with the Irish lace. I may skip out a couple of sections. What I want to do just quickly first is do the stamp and die. So what we're going to do is just using the butterfly friendship. So you can either one of two ways, whatever you feel easiest. Now, our stamping mat not only enables you to get a really nice, crisp, clean stamped image, what it also does as well is, if we can see in a moment, before I put ink on, because you've got that deep purple against the white cardstock, can you see how you can clearly see your white cardstock underneath? If you were to do it onto even just our glass mat, see how it just kind of fades into the glass mat that little bit more. So if you've got something deep over or just underneath, for instance, like our stamping mat, then it just gives you that bit more clear impression to see. But for this one, I'm just going to use our quick dry. So this is what I tend to do, and that is where I do my die cutting and then I stamp. So we're going to just set that into place, and then what I'm just waiting to say to Charlotte, I'm going to wait to just stick my head in the way just for a moment. So we'll just do it there, we'll go perfect. So just look directly over the top. And then when you feel as though you're happy, what you're doing, there we go, I'm just finished there. You're just having a look just to make sure that your inked stamp is just nicely over the top of your cardstock. And then when you're happy, just press and commit. And then if I take that away, then we've got our stamped impression over our die cut piece. Alternatively, you can also do, and if you're not sure which one you find easiest, try them both. You know, try them both a couple of times, just get yourself familiar with them and then see what you find easiest. So you can either die cut and then stamp, or you can just stamp first. Let's see if I've got enough cardstock here. So we can stamp first and then you can come on top with your die. And being honest with you, Ben, this is something that most crafters find easiest doing, is doing the stamping and then the die cutting.
Yeah.
But what you're just going to do is just popping your die over the top, and you're just looking for, in this case, the purple inked line of the butterfly. You're just making sure the inner part of your die just matches up, so you can see that nice roundness all the way round. Just bringing in your low tack tape. So once I feel as though I've got that lined up just nicely, we're just going to just tape that over the top. Just make sure it's nice and secure, because certainly with a stamped image, the last thing you want to do is for it to move. I'm just going to bring in my mini for this one because I had it right to the side, and then run this one through. So give them a shot, whether it's Sharon's collection, whether you've got any other stamping dies that are combinations, see which one you feel easiest doing. But if we take that one out, then there we've got our stamped impression over our die cut. So either stamp and then die cut, or sorry, no, die cut and then stamp, or stamp and then die cut.
Yeah.
See which one you feel more comfortable trying. Right, let's quickly get some of this card started. So what I've done with this one is taken my scoreboard that we had earlier. I know it's sold out, but you could still do this on your Ultimate Pro or if you've got any other scoreboard. Just brought in a piece of cardstock, which is 10 3/4 by 7 1/4. And then what I've done, and I've cut 2 of them, I've scored at 1 1/2 inches, and then I've scored at 2 1/4 inches. I've turned my card around and done it again, scored at 1 inch and scored at 2 1/4. Once again, I've done that on 2 pieces of cardstock. I've then taped the edges together, and then that gives you that dimensional look. Then just in the centre part, now the centre bit I did do before I stuck them together, otherwise you'd be left with a whole big aperture within the middle. But I've just taken the Irish lace frame and just using the outside die, before I created them or stuck them together, I just die cut my aperture within the middle just there. So we've got that one. And then what I'm going to do is bringing in a bit of black cardstock, and I'm using our Rose Garden 12 by 12 paper pad. So we can run this one on. So I'm just going to pop my adhesive all the way round. I'm not too concerned about popping adhesive in the middle, because what I'm also just a way to do is if I pop that one over the top here, then once again, let's bring in that same frame. That can go into the middle again, tape it down into place, and I'm just going to make sure you can use the grids on your glass mat as a guide to line up so it's right in the middle.
Yeah.
Tape it down into place here. So although I've got my pattern paper and as well as my black cardstock, let's just pop this on our junior plates, and we can pop this over the top. So 2 layers, however, I'm still using my combination without the metal shim. It's not needed, still enough pressure with the Gemini to cut through the 2 layers. So what then this gives you is, not only does it give you your frame within the middle, so I'm just going to carefully try and just peel that one off just there, and then on this bottom bit. So not only does it give us our 2 layers in the middle, now what you could always do is pop a lot of adhesive beforehand, and then what happens, obviously got a little bit of adhesive over the top. So this then gives you your 2 layers underneath that you can see just here, like that one. But it actually gives us this aperture, which is what we are wanting for this one. Let's go round the edges with our tape runner. So we're just going to go round the side, all the way around. If you want to use your Call-Out glue, wet glue, you can.
Yeah.
And because we use that same die, this is then going to give us the frame to go round here. And all that I've done, in case you wondered what size was it, I just done my mats and layers for my black card just to fit in this front panel here. So then we've got that frame, and then what I am going to do is, if you make sure that you do have a lot of adhesive on, so although I took that apart to show you what it would look like, I'm just going to stick it back together, and this is then going to go on the inside. So once again, this is about dimension, but without using pads or gel. And I know that's quite hard for me to say, doing dimension without foam pads, but believe you me, I do it sometimes. Do it sometimes. Oh. But it's all about, what I'm trying to think of as well is postage.
Yeah.
I know here in the UK, as well as and you guys, well, both Europe and then stateside, you know, postage can cost a lot. So I'm trying to think, you know, if you were to have that much dimension with pads or glue gel, that's going to be a box. So that's going to be posted as a parcel where it folds flat. So then that's that layer done. So what I'm going to do is let's just bring in a piece of black card. So this sort of layer, I know you do want to see these, but I want to finish this card so that you can see what it looks like. So I'm going to take out just a couple of these steps. So all that I've done on black card, so that's using that first detail die from this set, which is the Irish lace. I've just die cut that into my Gemini, which gives me that shape here. And then now, I just can't stop seeing that cricket.
I know,
at the top there.
Isn't it?
It's just totally blown my mind there. So that gives us that layer there. And then what I'm also going to do, bringing in this layer here, which is still our actual rose garden. Let's run this one through. So I will cut this one and then we'll quickly just assemble the card, because this is going to be my back layer onto this one. So what I can do while that's cutting, let's show you another bit of black card. And once again, what I'm going to do is go down to the next detail die, which is here. Just running that one through onto our black cardstock. This is just our matte black that I'm using, that then gives us that look here. So even when you see it, it really stands out onto deeper card like your black. It looks incredible. So now that we've done this back layer, what I'm just going to do is let's just take this one off and off. So then this can then go over the top. What I'm going to do, Ben, is afterwards, once I'm home, well, it might actually be tomorrow now, what I'm going to do is I'll come back and I will reattach these layers with a bit more adhesive just to make sure that they're secure. So just in case you think, oh, he's not putting on enough adhesive, I'm not, but I do just want to let you see how it's looking. So even just black layers, but with that little bit of pattern paper on the background, just really makes it stand out. So I'm going to then just go on with my tape runner. Let's bring this one in. Now this then even sits nicely. It is so easy because Sharon's thought of all the layers, all the combinations, how it all works together. What I would have done is I would have taken this top layer here and I would have die cut that one out onto my pattern paper as well, which then would have sat nicely into the middle. So we'll do that at home. But what I've also done is just taken one of my butterflies into the red card. Let's just quickly pop that one into the middle. And then I would have popped just a couple of strips at each side, there and there. But just so we can show you how it looks, that is how it would start to come together.
Brilliant.
So I would just add maybe a sentiment, but I would just add in one patterned layer into the middle using the die, 2 strips just to finish it off. But you've got a nice standout card, a mantelpiece pleaser, I would say.
A mantelpiece pleaser indeed, from the craft wizard himself. That one is going to stick, honestly. There's so many lovely messages coming in, honestly. I think since Sharon revealed those little Easter eggs about the vintage lace frames. They were busy before, but they're now, I mean, literally off the chart, to use Sarah's phrase. People are absolutely loving them. Sharon, just to say thank you so much. It's been, I think, one of my favourite craft houses, and I seem to have presented a lot of these over the weeks I've been here. What about Christmas for you then? You've obviously been busy working and designing. Are you ready for Christmas?
Yeah, I mean, my whole Christmas is planned out where I've got a whole catalogue of designs I need to get finished. I'm just excited about next year. So I'll have Christmas Day off though. That's the day where I'll just eat myself into oblivion.
Well, listen, it's always a pleasure to chat to you and see all of your crafty goodies and see the inspiration as well. Thanks so much for joining us. Hopefully we'll have you back on very, very soon indeed. But from me and Craig and everyone here at Crafters TV, thank you so much. Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Sharon.
Oh, just brilliant. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Craig as well, thank you to you. Just brilliant again. Diane saying thank you so much. Sharon, Ben, Craig, all the CC team for a great show, saving it. That's the ultimate accolade, I think.
Absolutely.
We're told that you're saving the show. When are you back?
Right to you, and then just to
tonight?
say as well, Sharon, you know, I love Sharon's product, I love Sharon to bits as well, incredible lady. But unfortunately, I'm not back now till Friday.
Ah.
Yes, I'm not going, well, I am going far. I'm going down to Peterborough. I'm going to Create & Craft the middle of the week, Wednesday, Thursday. So join me then if you can. However,
Yeah.
I'm back all day Friday, all day Saturday.
Yes.
Guess who I'm with?
Me!
The man himself. We'll do it all again.
I look forward to that. Yes, I am here next Saturday, Sunday, Monday. But before that, I'm here tomorrow, of course, for Second Chance Sunday, amongst other things. We've got a masterclass as well, and my first ever 2 shows with Jan. So I'm looking forward to that very much indeed. Have a brilliant rest of your Saturday, whatever you're up to. Make sure you join Craig this evening, 8 o'clock UK time on his Facebook Live, and I will see you here tomorrow. It's bye from me.
And it's bye from me.